All right, what's going on, family? Let's go ahead and get into it. So, you guys know spring football is underway. College football is fastly becoming one of my favorite sports. And I think it's a great time to discuss my top 10 teams that I think have an opportunity to make the college football playoffs. In no particular order, they are Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, USC, LSU, Oregon, Tennessee, Washington, Texas, Ohio State, and I have a couple of wild cards. I'll throw in Notre Dame. I think Texas A&M has a chance, and a massive, massive, massive dark horse are the Roadrunners from the University of Texas San Antonio. Now, I'll explain all of these teams in detail in the coming days and weeks, but there are a couple teams, a couple big names that I've left out, obviously. And let's start with Alabama. So I posted a video a couple of weeks back, low tide. I think the Alabama run is over. And so you can go ahead and watch it, and that can kind of explain why I think they're not going to be that good this year. But I'll give you the Cliff Notes version if you didn't look at that. So Jalen Monroe, the quarterback who subbed in for Bryce Young when he was hurt a couple of games, I don't think he has the talent. He's not comparable to the Alabama quarterbacks of old, of the Tuas, the Bryce Youngs, even the Jalen Hurts. I mean, this guy is a run first player. I don't think that you can really win like that in the highest levels of college football anymore. The wide receiver position isn't what it used to be when you had this room stocked of first round picks. Even guys like Mechie went in the second round after tearing ACLs. You just didn't see that type of explosion in the wide receiver room this year, and I don't think they have it going forward. And I just think that the SEC has just gotten better. There's been a brain drain in the coordinator position. A lot of guys have left. They had to poach the offensive coordinator from Notre Dame. Um, what offense did they run last year that you're doing that? So it's not the same Alabama. It's not your dad's Alabama. It's not your older brother's Alabama. It's not the dude dating your older sister's Alabama. It's a different era for Alabama football. Now, what I might be overlooking is they got a four-star quarterback, Eli Holston. Maybe he wins the job. Maybe he comes on the scene and he's great. I mean, they did add a big-time wide receiver recruit in Hale, so maybe he has one of those massive freshman seasons like Sammy Watkins did back in the day. And they had a JUCO transfer, the number one JUCO transfer, Benson, or another wide receiver. So hey, maybe these guys give them the pop in the wide receiver room. Holston or even Monroe get better, or a lot better than I think they're going to be, and they make a run. But I just don't see it. They do have a tough, tough schedule. Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, Tennessee, A&M on the schedule. But on the bright side, unlike last year, all these games, except the Texas A&M game, are going to be home games. So, long story short, I just don't see the tide rolling in 2023. Let's go over to Clemson. A lot of the same things that are playing in Alabama are playing in Clemson. I think that their run with Dabo might be coming to an end as well. He's been strident on, not liking NIL, not liking the transfer portal process. And that's just college football in 2023. That's just college athletics just in general. And I think it's affected his roster as a whole. You look at the quarterback play, DJ Ungulele, he was not it. He's obviously transferred out to Oregon State. The kid, Cabe Klubenik, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He had, came up in mop up duty, started the last regular season game of the year, then started the bowl game. The kid looks average to me. I know he's a 5-star, so that makes him a general, but I don't see average athletic talent as far as speed. I see an average arm, and he's on the smaller side and shorter side for quarterback. So again, I don't want to knock a kid's opportunity to get better, especially a true freshman, but I just didn't see the tools that would make this guy a special guy. Even Trevor Lawrence, I saw him as a true freshman. He was real thin, but the arm was there, the size was there, the athleticism was there. I need none of those things are there with this kid. But hey, he could get better. I mean, The wide receiver position, same story with Alabama. It doesn't look like Sammy Watkins is walking through that door. T. Higgins, Mike Williams is walking through that door anytime soon. And I think they really missed the opportunity last year, I think, which was kind of on the downside for just college football teams in general, with the defensive line they had last year to take advantage and make it into the playoffs. Um, they don't have the strongest schedule. That's a thing on the bright side. So, hey, if you have a young quarterback who's trying to get his feet wet, the perfect way to do that is not have a strong schedule to start off with. Their strongest opponents, FSU and Notre Dame, are going to be at home. But I do think that this is going to be another down year in Death Valley. So, as I said earlier, I would discuss the other teams in greater detail. Definitely leave me a comment. In the meantime, subscribe. And as always, the game is the game.